Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to the Development and Improvement Exchange. My name is Martha. I'm your host. I'm also a bit of a dancer. So, dancing is back. We are trying a little different format today. Why do I sound like this? Why do I sound like this? Afraid, full of self doubt. Ah. Uh,
Arizona origin, but I live in Cars.
What?
today we're talking about leadership, the guiding of 1 to 50 people. A little bit of background on me before we start. I've worked as a nurse. I have held multiple leadership positions within that field. I have observed multiple leaders in different fields at different levels of responsibility. I have learned from what I call the Grand Masters. And I want to try something a little bit different. I want to talk about leadership as I'm doing it. I don't want to talk about it after I've done it. I don't want to talk about it before I've done it. I want to talk about it as I'm doing it. Last week, we touched on empowerment, and that was very much a stage that I was at. And the week before, it was self-discovery after a breakthrough, and then breakthrough, and so on and so forth, which I shouldn't say. I've been told by my coach things like blah, 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 and so on and so forth. Working on it. So let's go to it. Leadership, a big topic. One of the beauties of this is that we as humans engage in positions of leadership literally throughout our lives. We are offered the opportunity to lead, even if it's just one person. How you lead one person should not differ from how you lead 50 people. The next episode we're going to look at is sort of influence at a larger scale. So going beyond 50 to 150. And the reason we stop at 150 is that very interesting concept, or I suppose fact, that any group of people just really start to disintegrate in terms of relational ability at a level that would be effective, I'd say, to keep cohesion. 150 is the golden number, but before 150 you got 100. That's still 3 digits. Let's move a little bit further down. I didn't go for 99, I went for 50 because a 50 is clear, it's clear cut. So let's dive in. First of all, what is leadership? I love that question. The only word that comes to my mind is servitude. Leading isn't about having all the answers. It's about asking the right questions and knowing where to get that answer, whether it's within or outside of self. I'm going to answer these 10 questions, and I'm going to use that to try and guide you towards strategies, towards an understanding, and give you a little structured, pillared framework, if you like. Structured with the ability to flow freely, of course, within it. that you can take forward. It's super simple, super effective. Leadership is more than just position. It is mostly about presence. What was the first moment you truly felt like a leader? And what shifted in your mindset to claim that role? First of all, I see OUR instead of YOUR, and it really irritates me. I felt like a leader the moment I noticed that something irritates me and I can't deviate from it. I need to rectify that issue. But the first moment I truly felt my presence was when I did something about it. I feel like I went through this document enough to notice little things like that. It's just a clear-cut example. No matter how brilliant you are, there's always going to be something that kind of goes, just skirts a little bit outside of your control. Okay, the first moment I truly felt like a leader in charge of 1 to 50 people, I'd say very clearly, night shift. I'm working with a bunch of exceptional nurses at Copcourt Ward, King's College Hospital. But yeah, I was put in charge of a series of night shifts over, I think, a month or 3-month period. My matron at the time, Regina, she was very keen on ensuring that you had sufficient pressure on you so that you could become a diamond. And so she had noticed that I wasn't doing any charge work for a prolonged period of time since I started working on that ward. So she sat me down and sat next to me, brought out the rota, and just put a line through all the series of night shifts, literally for like lines, weeks. And she just wrote my name in there. Obviously, I didn't work every single day. She gave me some time off. My response to her initially, I did not fight her, but I did not welcome it either. My mindset at the time was very much, I could see what this will help me become. So I was grateful for that. However, the gratitude was less than the apprehension that I am now responsible for the 16 people who are in this room, this roof, this corner, and the 6 other people who are going to be working alongside me. I felt dizzy. I felt woozy. I'm not sure if that was a good or bad thing. I just accepted it as what it was. 2 things stood out for me. I was a little concerned that I had never done this before. So how could I move past this? Okay. What is it I need to focus on? Simply, the first moment I truly felt like a leader, truly in my heart of hearts, on a scale that covered both responsibility, variety, and depth, was when I looked around, I closed my eyes, and I made a conscious decision that everyone here will be safe before me and will be happy before me. And I thank God every day that I'm still able to do that. Doesn't mean I want to be miserable. I enjoy it. I enjoy being miserable. I'm excellent at it. I'm also excellent at being happy. Those 2 things don't matter to me as much as getting into God's kingdom. That is my only goal in life. Getting into God's kingdom. In order to get into his kingdom, I got to do stuff that allows me to get in the kingdom. Being a leader is an opportunity to show myself as somebody who can put others first. That was the mindset that helped me claim that role. So let's move on to the next question. I forgot I was playing a role. Hi, Martha. Hi. 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 So every great leader has a core philosophy that shapes their decisions. What 3 guiding principles define your approach to leadership and why? Always carry a pen and always carry some paper. Every single time. The 3 guiding principles that define my approach to leadership. Get yourselves ready. Servitude. 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 Love. And ruthlessness. Servitude. Love. And ruthlessness. It works a treat. Here's the breakdown. To serve means to give support whenever it is possible to give support. Every single time without fail. If I cannot provide that help, where can I get that help for you? Who can provide that help for you? What around me will help you? If I can't do it, maybe somebody can, maybe something can. Somewhere, somehow, that help will begin its way to you. Number 2, amore. Love. Love. Love is more than just what I'm going to call human love, romantic love, familial love. It is more akin to divine love that I'm looking at here. That's one of the reasons I want to end up in God's kingdom, is that unconditional love. Unconditional love is before you loved me, I loved you. And my love is not conditional on you loving me. Regardless of what you do, I will stay true to myself and love you first. Because I am love. Okay, no, not me, literally. But figuratively. Humans are able to remember unconditional love, but we cannot sustain the delivery of it. And for me, in work, in leadership, that translates to duty. My performing of my duty is not conditional upon your performing of your duty. In some cases, sure. However, unless it's really, really nuanced and really, really there, come here, it'll be fine. I thought I needed a whiteboard, but if I just use space, I think that's fine. I think you kind of get that. So I'm going to use these examples just out here like that. Okay, I'm playing too much. Let's get back to it. I'm playing too much? How sad that I thought that way. No. See? No matter how awesome you are as a person, there's always that 0.1% loop of negativity that comes back, of preconceived notions that come back. I love myself either way. It's okay, girl. Duty is simple. I want to help. That's duty. Ruthlessness. So we've got servitude, we've got love, and we've got ruthlessness. Why ruthlessness? It's very simple. You signed a contract. I signed a contract. Everybody here signed a contract. Why not? And if those reasons don't stack up, do the job that you signed a contract to say you'll do. Ruthlessness is sounding like a broken record. It's being bedrock. It means you're a mountain. It means No matter how much you're pulled forward or to the side or even backwards, your feet are firmly planted on the ground. And you use the ground to move wherever you need to move to on earth. You use your spirit to fly high to the heavens. You use your heart to go deep into the depths of the soil. And of course, you use your breath for variety to travel far and wide. Never be afraid to say no. Never be afraid to say yes. Just let your yes be yes and let your no be no with humility. Next question. Imposter syndrome amplifies because I forgot I was in persona again. Imposter syndrome amplifies because you lead rather than just disappear. How have you personally faced and overcome self-doubt in leadership? I got help. The very first time I was about to go ahead and do that shift, it's very clear to me I don't have this experience. I'm lacking here, 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 here. So I sit down and identify the pitfalls where I'm going to fall, basically. And then I go on and I look around me. I'm like, okay, how much time have I got? Because time is critical. It's always going to move in one direction. And you kind of have to make sure it doesn't go too far. Or if it's too close, make sure you don't slam into it. Who around me right now, in the moment that I am, can help me plug these gaps? Something interesting I wrote. Recognition of limitations in anticipation of position change. Leadership. Okay. Identification of best positioned source of help and early reach out to reduce debris from friction/fallout as a result of the change. When you are stepping into a position of leadership of other human beings, those human beings are going to respond and react to your becoming, should we say. And how they react is one of fear of change, fear of the unknown. You're an unknown quantity. So make yourself known. At the same time, you want to make yourself known in a way that cements your position as a leader and makes it very clear that you're focused on two things: their safety, so they will immediately feel safe, and their happiness. They'll be laughing, or they will feel smiling, or they will just have a positive energy about them. Many new leaders struggle with balancing authority and connection. What is the most effective way to lead without micromanaging or being too hands off? I love that one. Micromanagers make me chuckle and both make me cry at the same time because it's like a woodpecker in your brain being micromanaged, and gosh, memories. And I feel sad and cry because to become a woodpecker, you've forgotten you're a human being. It's a lack of trust. You don't trust. You don't trust yourself. You don't trust your team. You don't trust the work that you've given them. You don't trust. So I ask myself, what can I do to increase the level of trust? I'll give you an example. Recently, I mentored a support carer, a senior support carer. I think that's what the title was. A senior support carer who was being trained to administer medications. And I should say this at the beginning. I have a background in nursing and coaching. Let's move on. She told me before she was competent at administering these medications. I didn't question it. I was all for it. And I was dubious. I don't know this person, so I got to check. So I don't want to micromanage because I want to be elsewhere. I want to believe this person is competent. So it boils down to trust. When I step into a job, my knowledge tells you you can trust me. My skills tell you you can trust me. My presentation tells you you can trust me. My values tell you you can trust me. My attitude tells you you can trust me. I am promoting as much. I'm doing, I was going to say everything, almost everything I can to ensure you feel safe. and you feel happy. Now, it's also what serial killers do, just in their own very twisted way, just so you know. It's what most people in power do. People who want to lure you in. However, the key here is very simple. You got to feel really pinned down to micromanage so much. The most effective way to lead without micromanaging or being too hands off is another thing. If someone is really, really competent, I let them go. The most effective way to lead without micromanaging or being too hands off is trust. How can you augment trust? Or if trust has gone down, can you identify so it doesn't happen again? And when you do augment it back again, are you doing it in increments? How much in one go are you willing to put in there? I like to play around with things. I like to give people challenges. I like to be direct, or sometimes I like to beat around the bush. The most important thing is follow your intuition as a leader. Observe, look at what they're doing. Look at what they're saying. Listen to what they're saying, how they're saying it. Listen to how they interact with other people. Listen to their values. Listen, pay attention to their work, their reputation. Put all these factors together in one big melting pot and make a decision. All right, number 5. When leading a group of 1 to 50 people, delegation is key. We just talked about that. But most people struggle. But most people struggle to trust others with important tasks. What was the turning point that allowed you to delegate effectively? The daily reflection is really hammered home actually as part of nursing. However, to go one step deeper, I don't use a framework. First, I start with my heart, how I felt that day. It's just like, yeah, what a day. This stood out for me the most. This person spoke to me the most. Go at it your angle. But I want to uncover the deepest insights. I start with my emotions. And I go to my values. Then I look at my knowledge for the day. How does it compare to my actions, my skills? And what could I have done better? What did I do better? What compliments did I get? So I'm collecting all this data throughout the day as well. And I'm not just like, boom, trying my hardest to remember moments in the day. Throughout the day, I'm doing mini reflections that sort of come together, small steps, to form this big one. And at the end of the week, not on the same day, but usually during the weekend, I'll just grab a piece of paper and I'll write everything that I've accumulated. I'll reflect on it. Then I'll do something completely different. And then I throw it away. And next week is new. Delegation is super effective when, again, trust. So harness trust as a commodity. Harness trust as a commodity. All right. So how much trust does the person have in themselves? That's another great question to ask. Does their previous work or training or feedback support this? What are other people saying about them? What you want is consistency in 3 areas. I'm going to tell you. The person's nonverbal communication, the person's verbal communication, and the person's reputation. If there's alignment in there, I'm more likely to delegate. And if there's misalignment, I'm less likely to delegate. Number 6, leadership is more than just what you do. It's about what you stop doing. Should just be able to dance into any groove. So here I go. I feel like I'm floating in the skies on top of that mountain. This is my favorite part of live streaming. Woo! Okay. We're back. Leadership is more than just what you do. It's about what you stop doing. What is one habit or mindset that I had to learn in order to lead more effectively. For me, trying to be friends with everybody. I'm a super friendly person, and I really believe that being friends is just a normal thing to do. And the intentions were genuine. Let's hang out, let's talk. I'm gonna get really invested in this person. However, then they'll see me as a friend, and then they stop respecting me as a leader. I've seen it happen to people, so I know it happens. I used to confuse the two. I can be friendly, but it doesn't mean I gotta be a friend. I can be a leader that has full compassion. We don't even need to be friendly. Boundaries. I had very little boundaries, and whatever boundaries were there were like super breakable and super weak and super bendable, which is I just wanted free. I was just like water, like air. I've since learned to add a little bit of earth, not a little bit, a ton of earth to my world, should we say. So there are a lot of boundaries, also a lot of barriers, a lot of walls. But I like those. There's a time and place to remove them, and I do. As long as I have control over when they come up and down. So yeah, that was it for me. A habit. That one's a toughie. I think a habit for me as well was not writing things down. And when I thought of something and I couldn't remember, if I didn't write it down, I get in a lot of trouble and I make a lot of mistakes. So I think just something super simple. Again, we come into practical strategies. Just writing something down really helps with clarity and confidence as well. So number 7. Well, the conflict is inevitable in leadership. What's the best approach to handling tough conversations and resolving team conflict while maintaining another error, trust and respect? That's okay. Everyone, I'm back in character. Everyone is doing their best. No one is perfect. Anyone who has blatant disregard, literally, for causing distress, that is somebody that would yield the greatest amount of conflict in leadership. And you can always tell, you can always suss it out from the beginning because it escalates. It doesn't just out. So watch out for the signs. Distress, everybody knows what distress is. Just because we know and recognize it doesn't mean it affects us in the same way. So nobody needs to go to work upset. And if they're upset, they shouldn't be upset about relational things, interpersonal things. They should be upset about the work. This is, I think, the best approach to preventing the need for tough conversations. But when they do come up, harmony is the name of the game. So just making sure everything around you is harmonious. If it's a tough conversation, can you take him someplace private and make sure that only who needs to be in the room is in the room? Make sure they are aware of every single thing that's going to happen. Make sure that when you are talking to them, that you are speaking in a nice, calm, non-threatening voice. At the same time, the gravity and the reality of the situation must be accentuated, if you like. You give them plenty of space, opportunity, and time to express themselves. That's so key. That's so simple. They must do this. Once they feel safe and they talk and they know that this is like a learning curve, if it's really, really serious, like every serious thing, it's already been well documented, there is a consequence. So you just kind of remind them of that and you say, I'm going to support you anyway. If someone is just vile, notice how vile and evil, what's that word? Is it anagram? Pentagram? Palindrome? I'm so confused. Just be clear, be super clear, be consistent, be empathetic, okay? It could be worse at the end of the day. Always try and give a gap identification process. So I challenge them by saying, okay, so this has happened. What have you learned from this? You know, what was the gap that caused you to fall? And how are you going to do better? When are you going to do better? What kind of support do you need from me to help you do better? Let's do it. Let's identify it here, then and then, that we can spend a lot more time putting it in practice. Give him a sweet or something. Give him a hug. Give him some warmth. Give him some love. We're humans. People make mistakes. It's all right. Yeah, the greater the mistake, the greater the consequences. But if someone's truly remorseful for something, help them solve the problem in a way that will prevent the problem from reoccurring. And there's no need to bash heads. I mean, go bash a head in a ring. No need to bash it at work. All right, so we talked about uh, being caught in reactive leadership and how that helps with proactive leadership. Well, if you can't go in with a positive mindset, you are already in a proactive space. Negative mindsets tend to draw in reactive responses. What I do is I keep my eye on the end goal. This is how another second way I stay proactive. I keep my eye on the end goal. There is always ticking in my ear. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Hunger also sets a tone. I know when it's time to eat. I'll solve the biggest problem, so by the time I'm getting to eat, I can really savor my meal. There's nothing like savoring a meal, huh? I mean, in short, look, there's a great deal to do. I ain't got a lot of time to sit here and react to things. I want to get going. I want to do what's in front of me in advance. Like these live streams, I've got episode 8, 9, and 10 already locked and ready to go. I don't need to worry about the next few weeks. The LinkedIn content, you schedule it well in advance. You take one day and you bash it out, mate. You bash it out. You bash as much as you can out. And then you keep bashing it out. Eventually, your brain's going to be like, this person just keeps bashing out this stuff. So I better help him find a faster, better way to bash things out. And then that's just how the brain works. The brain does not like to waste time on things that it does not need to waste time on. And we'll always try and simplify things and find a shortcut or just fill in the gap. It's just like, yo, what's going on? We got better things to do. We got more things to do. Why are you honing on this one thing? Which is why overthinking is like that spiral. But instead of directing it outwards, inwards, and sort of upwards, you're kind of just directing it in one place, whether it's outwards, that way or that way. And it's just not holistic. I hope that was helpful. Whatever you say, just say it in a way that doesn't cause distress. There's a way to say everything so that it doesn't cause distress, no matter how mean you're trying to be. As you watch the live streams, I'm becoming more and more comfortable in doing this. So I'm going to be doing a lot more reenactments. And you're definitely going to see how that's going to play out. What's the most common mistake people make when they're stepping into leadership for the first time, and how can they avoid it? It's my answer. Too loud or too quiet. They're either too loud or they're too quiet. They do too much talking or they do too little talking. Like, I don't know who you are if you don't talk. And if you talk too much, then I'm just confused. And I don't really know who you... I don't think you know who you are. I don't know who you are any more than you do. Keep it short, keep it sweet, keep it firm, keep it simple. Hi, I'm Martha Iwas, the new leader for XYZ. I'm ready to do my best and hope we enjoy working alongside each other. That's it. Short, sweet, firm. I say it, how I say it is what matters. Hi, I'm Martha Iwas. I say it with a smile on my face. I'm nice and clear. I'm the new leader. I accentuate the fact that I've been promoted in this position. I keep it super professional so everyone's clear that everyone here, standing here, signed a contract to perform a certain role. The people who are a part of that environment automatically feel included. I'm ready to do my best. Now they know your intentions. They know where you're leaning in terms of energy moving forward, in terms of activities and action moving forward. What's your plan? Action-wise, I'm ready to do my best. That's your attitude, that's your values. This person is always wanting to do their best. Knowledge, so you're constantly pushing at the seams. That's what doing your best means. I'm loving these rhymes. I hope we enjoy working alongside each other. So now it's like, what's side by side, man? See, I love being friends, but I gotta remember I'm here for a reason. So are you. Tip: know your audience. Not everybody's gonna respond in the same way. So by the time you've walked in, you kind of like cased the joint, you know, you encase the room, you have a look and scan it. And when you finish, I like to take a bow, but I step back and I give the stage back to another person. I return the attention to another person. Let's move on to number 10. If someone feels unprepared to lead, but is suddenly placed in a leadership role, what's the first thing that they should focus on to gain confidence and stability? To me, this answer is like dead simple. The answer: humility. Just humble yourself. Hi, I'm here. I wasn't expecting to be here. You don't need to say I'm unprepared. You say I wasn't expecting to be here, which is the truth, but I am here and I am super excited to learn more about the role, but also to support you where you need. And then you reinforce that even though this is like unexpected, this is what makes you a leader. And don't be shy about it. You didn't get here by accident. For me personally, humility is kind of going to the ground. Like, oh my God, this is a lot. So I'm going to just lay on the ground for a little while. So I do that literally. And then when I'm about to get back up, I can shoulder it. That's the way I play with my mind. Knowing your why. Why did you accept the job? Why are you standing there in that moment? Being super clear on that would also help in moments like this. So that's number 2. You have some idea of how everyone there is going to be working with you. You got to be super clear on the goal that's there. Okay, that's it. I'm feeling that activating leadership in others kind of starts with you. If you can activate leadership within yourself, you're really gonna find that it's become so much easier to activate leadership in yourself through others. Just help people. You're good at what you do. You are obviously awesome at making sure that the people who are in your inner circle get the best version of you. If you're watching this, it's because you want to transform into a person who can take care of the inner circle. No problem is too big or is too small. Click of a finger, problem solved. If you have a family, chances are you've been a leader. If you have a group of friends, chances are you've been a leader. If you work for a company, chances are you've been a leader, or the government, for a public organization or private one. If you're in a group of other humans, chances are you've been a leader. If you're in a group of also non-humans, guess what? Chances are you've also been a leader. Everyone gets an opportunity to be a leader. Are you ready to go to the next level? That's the question. I hope you do answer. Now you answer truthfully, honestly. And I want to leave you with something before you go. If you want to master the demands of leadership, there are 4 pillars. Strength, limitations, vision, values. They're pretty self-explanatory. Vision, know your end goal. What does it look like? What does it feel like? Values, gosh. Values are not beliefs. Beliefs are more things that you believe in, but you have no evidence to support that it is, what you're saying it is, but you're going to believe it anyway. Values, on the other hand, is what determines your boundaries. One of my values is kindness. So it really is a boundary for me if I want to spend time with somebody and they're unkind to others. That said, when I examine myself, I'm unkind to others too. So it's the eternal dilemma of humans, to be or not to be kind or not to be kind. I want to be kind 99.9% of the time. Now I want to be kind 100% of the time. But the maximum I can reach in this realm is 99.9, which is one of the reasons I want to go to God's kingdom. Everything's 100% there, and I want to experience what 100% is like. See, that's a belief. My evidence, which brings us to limitations. What am I not good at? What am I literally rubbish at doing? I don't think I'm rubbish at doing anything, but there are some things that require more of my concentration, more of my attention than I like. It's not that the ego is strong. No. It is that the ego is strong, not that it's large. God. My ego is like the size of the cube in the Marvel series. My ego is like that size. What about you? Something I'm strong at. Expressing myself through the power of sound. And body movement. The closing of the eyes makes a lot of people uncomfortable when they dance to songs or anything they think is ridiculous. If you're incapable of being ridiculous, I challenge that question by saying, Who told you it was ridiculous? What power do they have to limit your mind? We've got 5 minutes to go, and I want to talk about my favorite leader, Jesus Christ. When you come into my heart, because I am comfortable enough to call upon you without feeling shame, embarrassment, or guilt. When moments like this happen, where alignment in everything I do, say, feel, think, hope for goes beyond a state of flow and enters a state of transcendence. I wonder why I cannot touch you, why I cannot feel you, why I cannot hear you. I'm listening hard, but I'm still struggling to do it. Today I'm about to start my day. Today I'm going to be responsible for other humans. I ask you, please let me in. Because it's Jesus, it's already done. Truth is, I only met him once. And since then, I've been chasing the dragon. Except it wasn't a dragon. It was a lamb. A lamb. I didn't see that coming. Don't be scared. Oh, you know what? Be very scared. But not for too long. A second. No more than 3. Because then you're just wasting your time. You're just wasting your time. And time is a commodity that you do not have. You want to hug that person? Hug him. You want to say job well done? Give him a job well done. Don't cause them distress. If they tell you stop, listen. If you say no, listen. If you say yes, listen. This has far more power than you could ever imagine. Your sword is your mouth. Learn to use your mouth and learn to use your sword. As a leader, this and these will set you free. Martha out. Thank you so much for tuning in and for watching the video. Subscribe on YouTube. Again, it's an Asni Connection. Next week, we're doing Influence at Scale, Leadership Beyond 50 People. Tune in. Goodbye, Yorobun.